She thought she was safe. It was her childhood friend after all, someone she'd grown up with, someone from her church. But what happened next will shock you just the way it shocked the entire Nigeria and break the heart of every person that has seen the story. Now, why am I bringing this story now to you is because more information, came out concerning this very story. And that is why it's very important for us to be very careful with the people that we trust. I always say this, be very careful, don't be too trusting. Welcome back to Delaram, Always Radio, where we bring you nothing but verified information. As long as it is verified, we are right there. Okay, as we are getting this information that is, breaking our heart on, a very quiet afternoon, 21-year-old Christiana Idowu, an industrial training student known for her quiet charm and brilliant academic performance, left her home in Ikorodu, Lagos. She told her family she was heading to Yaba for a brief appointment. That would be the last time anyone saw her alive. What began as a simple outing turned into a tale of betrayal, darkness, and tragedy, one that would shake even the most hardened hearts of people. Christiana wasn't going to meet a stranger. She was going to see someone she trusted, her childhood friend. Ayomide Adeleye. Okay, they grew up together. They grew up attending the same church, seeing each other during school holidays, and stayed in touch over the years. Ayomide, a 23-year-old philosophy student at Olabisi Banjo University, had told her he could, help fix faulty phone. It was a simple excuse, a setup that marks a horrifying plan. Behind that familiar face was a man whose mind had become corrupted by desperation. According to what he later told investigators, Ayomide had been struggling financially, bills were piling up, shame was mounting, and somewhere deep within him, something evil began to take root. He wanted quick money, and he believed Christiana would be an easy target. He lured her to his family compound. It was an ordinary home in the bustling town of Ikorodu, with people moving in and out, none suspecting the evil about, to unfold within. Christiana, unaware of the danger, walked into the compound as though stepping into a place of safety. Ayomide closed the door behind her and locked it. What followed was chilling. Ayomide tied her up. He didn't just want to threaten her or steal from her. He had decided he would, demand ransom. He used her phone to text her family, telling them she had been kidnapped and demanding 3 million for her release. The messages sent panic and confusion across her home. Her mother, completely distraught, began begging and pleading. Eventually, the family was able to raise 350,000 naira and transferred it to the account Ayomide had given them, an online betting platform account, sport bet, which he believed would be untraceable. But here is where the horror deepens. Even before he got the money, Ayomide had already murdered her, strangled her with his own hands, and then, like, someone trying to erase a mistake, he dug a shallow grave in the backyard of the family house and buried her there. Then he wiped his hands, washed up, and continued demanding money from her grieving family, pretending she was still alive, even as her body lay cold and forgotten beneath the earth. Her family held on to hope, praying each hour that Christiana would return. Days turned into weeks. Suspicion grew, especially when the person behind the messages, grew careless. But what Ayomide didn't know was that the police weren't sleeping. Security agents traced the phone last known location, then they traced the payment, following it from the Sporty Bet account back to a Wema Bank account. They were, closing in. On the 1st of that month, military intelligence officers surrounded the family compound in Ikorodu. Ayomide didn't resist. In fact, when cornered, he broke down. He reportedly attempted to harm himself in a failed suicide bid. overcame with the reality of what he had done. But the truth came out. He confessed, fully in chilling details. He showed them the shallow, grave in the compound, and there her decomposed body was found wrapped in the clothing she had worn the day she went missing. He told them everything, how he'd finished her, how he, fake conversations with her mother, and how he spent part of the ransom on himself. The community was stunned. A church boy, a university student, a childhood friend. How could he have done this? On the 5th of that month, he was handed over to the Lagos State Command on he appeared before the magistrate court in Ogba. The judge did not grant bail. Instead, he was remanded at the Kirikiri maximum security prison. As the news spread, so did the pain. Christiana's friend at school described her as kind and hardworking. Her mother was inconsolable. He spied my daughter and was still calling me for money. Every time I picked that call, I was talking to my daughter's buyer. Oh God. Rumor began flying early in this year that Ayomide had been released, but the police quickly debunked, them. As of now, he remains in custody, facing charges of, buying and kidnapping. But, what is more painful about this is that before that time, Ayomide's younger sister had been spied right there in their house. Like, the girl was spied right there in their house without anybody knowing what happened. They went out, and when they came back, the girl was lifeless. Right now, investigations and everything, friends are speaking, and they said it was Ayomide that spied that person. And again, a lot of other young girls that have been spied around there in Lagos, investigations are beginning to show that, numbers that were called and monies that were paid into that very betting account. So right now, as it is right now, Ayomide could be called one of those serial, buyers that we have in Nigeria, a young boy of 23 years old. And that is why mothers, we are talking to you. Protect your daughters. Do not trust anyone. Don't trust anyone. He's my friend, my platonic friend. The level of desperation for money in Nigeria right now is something that you should be scared of. Protect your children, because it's beginning to look as if the girls are the ones that are being used for whatever reason nobody knows. I'm going to bring you more update. I appreciate you. I hope you were able to learn something from here. And we feel really bad that this trend is going, from better to worse right about now in the country. Welcome back to Delaram Alves Radio. I'm going to bring you more updates. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you.